Welcome to WDRB Media and the Perky Collar Radio Show. Today, my guests are the owner and vice president of A&N Cleaning Services. So here in the studio, we have the son, the vice president, which is Alejandro Sanabria. Say it right?
There we go. Sanabria? Yeah.
Sanabria? Okay, that was close. And on the phone, who tried to escape my meeting today, is the CEO and founder, Mauricio Sanabria.
Mauricio Duque. Yeah, he's actually my stepdad. I call him my dad because he basically raised me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, very good.
Technically, he's a stepdad, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And Mauricio, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Excellent. All right. So as every show starts, we want to find out, why did you start A&N Cleaning Services? After clean up after your own kids is enough, you decided to clean up after other people too. So tell us about that.
Well, I was in the cleaning industry for almost 20 years.
Okay. You worked for somebody else?
In New York. Yeah.
Okay.
I was working for somebody else in New York for other companies, and that's where I got the experience from. And then we decided to move down to Charlotte and open our own business.
Very good. How long ago was that?
It's about almost 2 years.
3 years.
2016.
Okay. Very good. So tell us what are the different services that A&N provides. Is it commercial? Is it residential? And what type of services do you provide?
We do commercial and residential as well.
Okay. And can you give us a list of services you provide for commercial and then a list of services for residential? And that way, in case our viewers or listeners are looking for a cleaning service company that meets what you provide.
Oh, sure. Alejandro can fill him up more than that. He is the one who get in touch with all the clients.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll throw the question to Alejandro instead.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as commercial goes, we do the daily maintenance.
Okay.
So having day porter there, night cleanup crew to take out trash, do the general cleaning. We do one-time jobs, carpet shampoos. If you have floors, we do stripping and waxing jobs as well.
Okay.
Post-construction cleanup. So if you got a construction company and you need somebody to come in and take away debris, make sure everything's dusted top to bottom, we go in there with our crew, get it all done in a day or two. As far as residential goes, we don't really go into people's homes as much, but it's more apartment complexes for move-out cleaning. That's
Okay.
actually something we didn't even know about till we moved down here. And when we moved into our apartment complex, the property manager was like, "Oh, you guys have a cleaning company? Do you guys do move-out cleaning for apartments?" And we're like, "Well, now we do." Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like, "I guess we do."
And the business is born.
Yeah. So we didn't even know about that. But then, so when people, because all the complexes here are on the lease basis, so once people's leases and they give up and they move out, we come in after they do the painting, the construction, whatever they had to do, and get it prepped for the new tenants to move in, so
Okay.
everything's nice and clean. And we have about 3 apartment complexes. We do about 1,000 apartments that
Wow.
we supervise now as of this summer. But that pretty much sums up all of our services. Yeah, as of now, we're looking to hopefully in the future maybe get a little bigger, get maybe landscaping, or something outdoorsy, but that's way down the road, maybe
Okay.
5-10 years.
So who would you say is your ideal customer based on that? Is it mainly people that have businesses that need commercial cleaning, or is it the people that own apartment complexes, or who is your ideal customer?
Yeah,
or both?
So yeah, exactly, both. I mean, come summertime, right around a couple months back, kind of like the end of February and early March, so earlier this month, I was going out visiting apartment complexes because it's starting peak season for move-outs. So everybody moves during the summer.
Okay.
So I was doing my apartment complex, cold calling apartment complexes earlier this month and last month. But then during the tail end of summer and during the summer when people aren't looking to switch because it's just too hectic,
Sure.
I look at people with their own businesses and trying to network property management companies. That's a big key right there.
Sure.
Try to get in with one of the big ones, Cushman & Wakefield, CBRE, JLL. That'd be a big win for us. So that's projected. That's one of the goals for 2018.
Good for you. Now, Mauricio, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Give us a sense of a real challenge you faced in starting A&N Cleaning Services, whether it be here or when you started back in New York. And give us a success story, because I know every entrepreneur that watches these shows or listens to on the radio, a lot of them are they've been in a certain field for a long period of time, and they hesitate to open their own business, and you decided to take it on, brought your son on board. Give us a little bit of a lesson learned that's a good takeaway from one of your experiences starting the business.
Okay. Well, in my 20 years of experience that I've been doing this business, I went through a big challenge that was back in New York with the snow removal. I was working for a company which is in charge of branches, banks,
Okay.
financial industries, and then we had to do with snow removal to all those branches. At that time, I was in charge of 80 branches
Wow.
in the district, and we had to find extra labor and extra equipment and vehicles to in order to set them up, like divided in 3 teams and delegate all those responsibilities to a group, so we can have to accomplish the cleanup of the next morning for the branches to be open.
Right, that makes sense.
So that was one of the big challenges in the difference about what it is in here in Charlotte. The good thing about it, we don't have the many
No snow.
that we get in the Northeast. Sort of different. But that was one of the challenges, the big experience that I had throughout my industry, which is very hesitate and exhausted work. Labor is more like work effort instead of a strategy. I implement that and coming here to Charlotte with the class of the industry here is sort of different how it runs, especially because like again we don't do that much snow here. We don't have the conscious of snow, but it takes a little bit of understanding of what the customer and the employees needs.
Sure.
So besides the customer that they want to get the job done in an efficient manner to get it done for the next morning, and also to have the employee working in a pace that it has to get the job done correctly, right, and take care also the employee as well to be with us, not to get that experience that he's getting overwhelmed. Give it a lot of support and make the job more efficient and more proactive for the employee as well.
Right, that makes sense. And I would assume with 80 branches, you're talking about at least, a dozen trucks or more?
Well, actually, it was quite. It's gonna be funny because it was only like 3 vehicles that we used.
3 vehicles, 80 branches. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, cargo vans, and we used around. It was like 62 people that we split them up. So we bring it with those vehicles. We provided the salt, and we split them up in teams. So we set them up these people in a matter of good radio that it was close to our other branches.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just provide the tools and the equipment that we need. We go around, passing around to make sure that everything was quite good, because they were only to take care of the sidewalks. That was the matter that the customer needed for the next morning to be open the branches. The customer is not going to slip and fall.
Sure, the liability.
Before they get into the branches, because the parking lots, there was another team that was in charge of that, so we would not have to take care of that area. So only it was kind of the entranceway and the sidewalks. But it was very, very good responsibility and nice experience.
Yeah, and still trying to take care of 80, and you got to find crews that can work, through the night. You got to get your crews to the site. Obviously, there's a lot of snow on the ground, and they got to get to the site, and roads may or may not be passable. You got to find a way. There is no, I just couldn't get there.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know how
no.
he does it. Yeah.
You're in charge of snow removal. You get there.
Exactly.
I don't care if you have to come in by helicopter. You're going to find a way to get to the site and get those cleared because that's what you're being paid for. That's very interesting. So you got through that. That was a stressful moment, I'm sure, when they said, Mauricio, we need you to clear out all 80 branches by morning. And it's like, what time do you get a call like that? Is that a call that you get say, hey, there's a big snowstorm coming, we know it's coming, and you have 24 hours notice? Or is it like a call you get at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and it needs to all be clear by 6 a.m.?
To be able to make that happen, we always prepare ahead of time. We always work, which is the company already has experience in that area, and especially in that region of the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. We always get chunk of snow, and New York City is well known, but a city that doesn't sleep.
Right, sure.
Everybody works 24 hours over there. But again, it's something that we prepared ahead of time. So we work with weathercast, and we prepare our teams 3 days before the event's going to happen. So we know how much people we have on call that is going to be available to be there and start them up the first round. And then as the snow starts development and it starts coming down, we know how much more people we're going to need. So we start calling in a second backup team to help us out. And that's how we actually would do it.
Makes sense. And when's the last time you had that craziness happen?
More
than 3 years ago, we know that.
That was like almost 3 years ago.
That was over 3 years ago. That was probably the defining moment that brought you to Charlotte, right? I see a correlation here.
I had it. I told my son I had enough snow. I think I don't want no more.
Time to go south. Yeah.
Exactly. It sounds like that event sent you south.
Yep.
Very much so. So the next question everyone always wants to know is, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. Hey, I want to start a business. Can I get my family to work for me? So we're going to let your son tell us first. What's it like to work for your dad, stepdad, family members in general?
Well, yeah, he's my dad. But so he came down. It was September of 2016 when he finally made the decision. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Charlotte.
Were you already here in Charlotte? Or
No.
You came down with him from New York?
Yeah, we were still up there. He's the one who came down first. He was staying with a friend, and a friend of his friend actually had a contract that was giving him problems. He didn't want to deal with it. He's like, I'll just give it to you. If you come down here and if you could get it right, you can have it.
It does not involve snow removal.
Exactly. Promise there's no shovels. So he came down. That was September. Come December, and my dad came back up and we had a meeting. I remember this because we were still in our apartment and we all sat down. It was my mom, my dad, and I at the table, and my dad was like, listen, I know you guys haven't been there, but Charlotte's blowing up. This contract that I got, I was able to straighten it out. It's looking good. I think we could actually start a business there, but I'm going to need some help. And back then I was doing this crappy little door-to-door sales job for commission only, selling office supplies. And I had a lot of fun doing it. Didn't make any money, but but had a lot of fun. And that's when I was like, all right, I like sales. This is what I like to do. So we sat down. I used to work at a golfsmith there. I was going to school. Golfsmith had just started liquidating, so that was like, there's no job for me here. I'd have to start looking for a job again. And then he's like, why don't you come down, handle the sales, get to learn the business first, because I could barely clean up my room, so I had to learn how.
Sounds like a typical kid.
Exactly. Yeah. So I could barely do any of that.
How can you clean offices when you can't even keep your own room clean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Trust me, Dad, it's something totally different. I can handle offices. I don't like cleaning my own room.
Exactly. That was pretty much it. So we came down. I came down actually January 1st is when we came down. Right after New Year's, we celebrated New Year's back in Jersey. Came down January 1st. Drove down in my Civic with all the bags and stuff. And then January 2nd. That same afternoon of January 1st, because we came down and got there in the morning. That same night, we had to go clean that first contract. It was actually the Mercy Medical Building in Midtown. So I was still a little bit hungover and stuff, but we get there, and I see, I'm like, whoa, this place is huge. You've been doing this by yourself. So started cleaning. He taught me how to mop, how to do the stripping and waxing, how to properly, clean bathrooms. This is how you replace toilet paper, paper towels, all that stuff. And then that was basically me and him cleaning that building, 88,000 square feet, just me and him. It was about 16 hours worth of work every night. So we'd get there 6, 7, sometimes 8 o'clock at night till about 4 in the morning. Wow. So during the day, there really isn't much time to do anything, because by the time you sleep and recover, it's pretty much time to go again.
Right.
So we did that for the first 3 months, but we saw that Charlotte's kind of growing, and we were able to get some stuff done, set up a website, do this, do little things. But that whole time, even though, and I was sharing a room with him too, and I don't know how my mom does it because he snores like he could.
Mauricio is calling you out.
Yeah, I don't know how I had to buy like the earplugs, get like earmuffs and stuff, but and I was.
It's okay, Mauricio. I snore too. It's okay. It's not for the record, of course. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
Sleeping in an air mattress next to him for those 3 months, sharing a room, living out with his friends. But we made it happen. We both saw the potential, and we never fought. We never had a discussion. We both it was kind of interesting looking back on it now that I'm kind of really thinking about it. We both really kind of just got in the zone where we knew what we had to do. We had to bring my mom and my brother back from Jersey to come down and live with us. We got to save up money to get an apartment. Got to get the company started. Got to get the Mercy Medical building up and no complaints, getting it nice and spotless. And those 3 months, those almost 4 months, we were just completely focused in the zone, doing work. And then once my mom and my brother came down and they were able to help, and I was able to step out a little bit and do some sales, get some more clients. But that first year and that whole summer until really come like October of 2017, that whole year we were putting in just tons of work, and we were really in the zone. I'm surprised looking back at it now is when we can all like kind of slow down and we're all looking back like, whoa, we really
We survived.
Yeah, we made it happen. But again, yeah, you said this for the entrepreneurs working or thinking about it. You just really have to work. That's basically it. There's no other way around it. I mean, my dad and I, we were putting in 18, 20-hour days cleaning. Not even trying to get clients, but just cleaning to be able to get something so we could finally afford to get that employee, get that thing. And then, in like a 2-week span, everything kind of blew up. And like all of a sudden we got employees, we got new contracts, we got this. So it does pay off. It does pay off.
So I have 2 questions as I was listening to that explanation. Number one, how hard of a sell was it for you, Mauricio, to get your son to move to Charlotte? You know, because anytime you walk up to your kids and say, hey guys, I have this great new idea, a new option, we're going to move. And all their eyes roll. What about my friends? What about my school? Charlotte, really? We live in New York. Everything happening here. Did your kids give you any pushback about moving to Charlotte? Number one. And number two, your son has a job description of sales and marketing for this cleaning company, comes down here and busts his tail for 9 months, cleaning 18 hours a day. How much scraping do you do about that? I mean, that wasn't in his job description initially, you know? Give us a little, if you could answer both those questions for us.
Well, Alejandro is very secure and inspired by his own self. So I knew it from scratch. I knew that he was gonna make it good in here, working as a partner in the company, because the challenge that he had back in Jersey doing sales, he was very dedicated and was into it. So as he's growing as a kid, I've been seeing that he's always very knit with the stuff he want to get it done. He always put his goals on a paper, and then he reach out to them to make it happen. So he's very concentrated, dedicated to get to that end. So, and even from the beginning, I teach him how to do this business. And what I went through since I was a teenager when I started from scratch and learned the whole business from the bottom up. So I know if I can give it the guides and teach him how to get it done, he can do good sales, and he can prepare himself to get accounts and make more business out of our company.
So, Mauricio, you have to answer me. You dodged both my questions. I love what you said about Alejandro. He said he started to blush while you were talking about him. But was it a hard sell to move your family down to Charlotte? Because I guarantee people are watching or listening to the show like, oh, I can never get my kids to move there because all their friends are there. They've been there for a long time. Did your kids give any pushback about moving to Charlotte?
No, actually not, because when they I was always wanted to come here. My wife and I, we came down, and it was like 2008, and Charlotte wasn't even developed how it is right now. It
Sure.
wasn't that big. But we came down for vacation, and we have some friends in here. We visited, and we liked the area back in then, but we were not thinking about moving in, which is saying, oh, this is a nice city, and city that is growing, which will be a nice retirement area for us. Thing that we thought, we just thought about it, and that was it. But we never thought that it was going to happen. But as years goes by, and we had the opportunity like 2 years ago to come down and start a new business. I think it was an easy move, and the kids love it. Alejandro loves it since he came the first time, and my younger son also. And the transition wasn't hard for him either. The first week, he already had friends.
Well, good for you.
It was ideal.
So they embrace the change. That's good. Change is not always easy. I remember my daughter, when we moved from Cincinnati to Charlotte, she's like, as soon as I graduate college, I'm moving back to Cincinnati. I can't believe you did this to me. And she was in middle school at the time. So I can imagine your son was older and leaving his hometown. That would be a little tougher. So I'm glad that they embraced the change. So to go back to my second question again, having a 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old son, obviously younger than your son, and we do demonstrations together and trade shows together, and it's like, as long as he's doing what he wants to do, it's okay. But if I have my son doing 18 hours a day of cleaning, I can only imagine the kind of back talk attitude I'd get. And you already raved about Alejandro. At some point, let's be honest, at some point you say, Dad, I came down here to do sales. Why am I cleaning 18 hours a day? And he can hear you, so keep that in mind.
I don't think he went to that point. He knows what we was getting into it, and he just got it, and he said, let's do it, and I don't care. We're going to make it. And we're going to make it happen.
You just told him to get that beer and pizza and just keep hang in there, and we'll get through it.
That's it. As long as it has a meal, that's it. We can go.
Well, that's excellent. Well, I congratulate you on starting a business and moving forward and busting your hiney as much as you did those first 9 months to a year to get those accounts.
Yeah.
And as we talked about, doing things that you may not want to do. And I think that's what most entrepreneurs have to understand, is that you have to wear a lot of hats when you first start out.
Absolutely. Until
you can afford to hire people to do things you don't want to do or don't do as well as other people do.
Yeah.
And the fact that you work that hard for such a long period of time cleaning is something that all of us hate. That's why they have cleaning companies out there and housekeepers out there, because everybody hates cleaning. I'm sure all the viewers, you guys hate cleaning too. But to do it for that long a period of time and such a big, space at a hospital is quite an undertaking.
Yeah.
So, Alejandro, looking back, we have a couple minutes left. Looking back, what's your biggest takeaway from working with your father and starting this business? What have you learned from the experience?
I guess what I've learned is it's very easy to get complacent. Back when I was in Jersey, I was working retail, so I just clock in, clock out, do my work, have fun there, get the steady paycheck, and kind of go on your way. And I was fine that way.
Sure.
Of course, down the line, and I don't know, but me personally, most people picture themselves getting successful at one point or another. But it's not going to happen doing that.
Right.
So when this opportunity came up, and I immediately thought, before this, we were doing what's your personality trait? And I'm a thinker.
Uh-huh.
My dad's a doer. But the second he came up with that opportunity, I immediately just picture the big building with A&N on it. And but in order to get that, I knew we'd have to work hard. And when we got down here, he was like, "Yeah, come do sales for me."
Right, exactly. That's the
hands me
bait.
the mop and bucket. Yeah.
Right.
And then, but I knew that there's no other way around it. You got to get through it. Maybe there might be 1 in a million chance where you get the job you want and you're immediately promoted and you don't have to do any dirty work. It might happen for some of us. But in order to ensure and to really, in your own hands, get it done, you just have to do the dirty work. I mean, I was doing cleaning, then supervising. I don't know how to handle employees. I had to learn how to do that, pull all netters, everything. But And that's how we got to where we are now, where I don't have to do any cleaning anymore, luckily. My dad just does supervising now, but everyone, you have to get through that. That's the only way. My takeaway is you just have to work hard, no matter where you are, who you are. If you really want to get successful, you just got to work hard, work through it.
And tell us how old you are.
21.
21 years old, right? That's pretty impressive. And I already heard, Mauricio, you said how proud you are of your son. For him to be as well-spoken as he is and to have the work ethic he has at 21 years old, I can only imagine the sky is the limit for this young man. Wouldn't you agree?
Hopefully.
Yes, I am. I agree. Totally agree.
You should be very proud. And we talked earlier, before we went on air, about the name of the company, A&N Cleaning Services. Obviously, the A comes from Alejandro, I assume. Where does the N come from?
That's from Nicholas.
Nicholas, that's your other son?
Yep, my brother.
Okay.
Yes,
Is he younger or older?
He's younger than me. He's
Okay.
actually 14.
He's 14.
Actually had to do a little bit of cleaning himself, believe it or not.
Nice. The 14-year-old's grinding as well. Just don't call child labor, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I've had my son working for me for many years. And it's like, okay, well, here's $10. Go. Or here's a
Exactly.
pizza. Go do these things for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's excellent. Well, I really appreciate being on the show with us, Mauricio. I appreciate you taking the time. And how do people find you if they're interested in hiring you for commercial cleaning services or for apartment clean-out services?
Yeah, we do have a website.
Okay.
It's called ANCleanings.com.
Okay.
We
A-N as in apple, N as in Nancy, then cleanings with an S in the end, correct?
Exactly.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And you can log in there, and they can tell you how to get quotes for services, and also we have we've just been reconstruction the web. We're gonna have a web in a page also to be hiring
Okay.
people in there. And we also have the whole information and the telephone so they can call us if anyone is looking for a job.
Okay. Is there a good phone number you want to share, or just go to the website?
That'd actually be.
No,
mine.
it's just,
Okay. We'll get Alejandro. Give us the phone number. Go ahead.
If you guys want to get quotes for a job, it's 914-560-6926. I always have my phone on, so no matter what time of the day, just try not to call at night.
Right.
For any quotes, either residential or commercial, feel free to call.
Excellent. So now you have a phone number if you're looking for a job for cleaning services. You have an opportunity for clean your business and or your apartment cleanouts. So all of you out there that have apartment complexes you own, this is the company to call. And to get all the information on their website, it's ancleanings.com. And I really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And
Yeah.
Mauricio, thank you for being on the phone as well. And you are listening and watching to the Perky Collar radio show. And we will see you next week. And thank you to our guests.